This is another thing which has come under the new act. If you have got foreign contribution over 1 crore in any year, then the organization will keep in the public domain all data of receipts and utilization during the year as also in subsequent years. That means in any financial year from a foreign source, if you get more aggregate of 1 crore, aggregate contributions from various sources goes over 1 crore, you must put this up in what they call public domain. They have not explained what is public domain. What you could do is maybe you can put the information on your own website, or you could put an advertisement in the newspaper. I found quite a few organizations have put it in newspapers now, that we have received 1 crore from so many sources and this is how we have utilized it. So you can just give figures of you received this money and where you have disbursed it. So this is the disclosure that is now required under the new FCRA 2010, which was not there in the old Act of 1976. Another thing that has happened is now, which was not there in the old Act, that you need a re-registration every 5 years, which was never there in the old Act. If you had registration, it was always permanent. Now what has happened, what you need to know over here is, when did this Act come into place? 1st of May 2011. So all of us who have had certificates of FCRA prior to 1st May 2011, automatically our certificates will expire on 30th of April 2016. And the department has said 6 months before the end of this period, you need to reapply. So you will go and apply in the prescribed form online. So basically the bottom line is, by December or November 2015, reapply for FCRA if your FCRA is granted to you before 1st of May 2011, which is in most of our cases. So you have to, and if you don't do that, they are not going to send you a reminder. They'll be happy to deregister you. 6 months back, they deregistered 4,000 plus NGOs, as you know, on flimsy grounds, including some very well-known organizations. So be very careful. They'll be only too happy to deregister you. So keep this as a date to remember. You do it by December 2015. Reapply for registration. When this came, many even sent immediately for, they didn't realize that you have to apply for this in 2015, and the department is happily harassing some of them. So it's like ATG. I know of so many organizations. I was speaking at a district level. You don't need to apply for ATG. The income tax department is happily accepting applications for renewal in certain areas. So this goes on. This is another interesting aspect in the new act. Administrative expenses should not exceed 50%, and any expenditure of an administrative nature in excess of 50% shall be defrayed only with prior approval of the central government. First of all, I think it's a very liberal figure that the government has put. Even if you go by international norms, they say an ideal situation is where your admin expense never goes up more than 25%. 25% is in the benchmark. Some try to go to 10% and things like that, which is really good. But if you are at 25, you are universally seen as a very good organization. So, but NGOs as usual were up in arms. This is administrative control. 50%, we can't spend more than 50%. I rejoiced on this thing coming, not because of this 50% thing. For the first time in the legislative history of this country, we have complete clarity on what is administrative expense, and it has come under legislature of this country. Earlier, everyone was confused. What is admin expense? Now, under an act of parliament, we have complete clarity on that. Let's see that. First thing, remuneration and other expenditure to board members and trustees. That means remuneration allowed to board. You got your answer from parliament. But not more than 50% will be spent on that. That's the only cap. But forget that. So, remuneration and other expenditure to board members and trustees. Remuneration and other expenditure to person managing the activity, CEO, CFO, COO, whatever other persons. Expenses at the office of the NGO, telephone, electricity, fax, etc. Cost of accounting and administration, pretty simple. Expenses towards running and maintenance of vehicle except program related vehicle. That means if you are running an ambulance, then maintenance of that is not admin. But if it is a car which the CEO is using, or you're using it to ferry the staff from the urban area into rural, then that's an admin expense. Cost of writing and filing reports, legal and professional charges, rent and repair of premises. Even if it is, you may have developed a school out of FCRA funds. repairs to that, administrative expenses. So very clearly, now what is not administrative expense also is there. I can even share this with you if you want. I'll send it by email in case you want it. So yeah, I can share this with you. Following salaries are not considered of an administrative, and this is perfect for us. Salaries of personnel engaged in training or for collection of analysis of field data of an association primarily engaged in research or training. Expenses related to activities, for example, salaries to doctors of a hospital or salaries to teachers of a school. That is not administrative expense. That is program or project expense. And this is under legislature of this country. For the first time, and therefore I rejoiced at this session when this particular legislation came, that salaries that you pay to teachers for an education is not your admin, it is a program or a project expense. So you can legitimately build it into your grant that is not to be seen as admin. You cannot be running an educational program minus teachers. So it's a program expense. You cannot be running a medical program sans doctors. So this is the thing. So we have got complete clarity with regard to this. Let's look at a few other downsides. Organizations of a political nature cannot accept foreign contributions. We know that from the Act of 76 itself. Under Rule 3, the Home Ministry may declare any organization as an organization of a political nature if it has political objects in its memorandum, hopefully none of us have it, is a trade union, is a group of a political nature, it's a student union, worker union, etc., and an organization found to be engaged in political activities such as Bandh, Rasta Roko, Rail Roko or Jail Baro. Please do not be involved in all this. You could be a little bit in trouble. So avoid that. You don't want to be branded as a political organization. So this is straight from the rules.